I would say stay true to yourself. Have faith. Never get down on yourself because in life, like I said earlier, it's gonna be good and bad in your life. Never get down on yourself. Keep your mind in the right place and always be willing to work. Put the work in, and just always be willing to learn. Like that's a big thing is learning. Be willing to work and be willing to learn, and just be patient with everything. Because it's different. You know what I mean? Being a professional overseas is different, so you gotta take what comes with it, but don't run away from yourself. Always be yourself, but always be willing to learn and be ready to work, because it's different. It's not gonna be what you're accustomed to, and just be ready for change.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's good.
Good, good, good. Glad to have you on the podcast today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. All right, so we're gonna take it from the top. So the first question is, what initially got you started with basketball?
Uh, to be honest, funny story is I wasn't even really supposed to be playing at the time. I might have been in like the second grade, first or second grade, and my sister was playing, and
Mhm.
my god brother also was playing. So I was just initially just watching the game, and my god brother didn't want to play anymore. So I just kind of got through on the court, and from what I was told, I was having the best time ever, and I won the game for the other team. But I thought it was like the greatest time ever. But that's how I started, and from the after that, I kind of just fell in love with it. Year after year, I had growth, and then I started enjoying it more and liking it more. That's just how I started. I just kind of got thrown into it, and then I just fell in love with it.
Okay, okay, that's good. So was there like a point where you realized you wanted to take it seriously or kind of make it a career?
Um, I mean, everyone talks like, "Oh, I want to be professional," or we all say that. But for me, it was initially when I got to high school. Um, and I had a coach that was just kind of like pushing me, to make it to the next level, which was college. But that's when I actually started getting those thoughts of, I want to be a professional one day too. And I was serious. It wasn't just talk. And I start, looking at things like, what do I need to get better at, get stronger, where I need to grow my game. And, it started from there.
Okay, okay. So you started taking it a little bit more seriously in high school. Go a little bit deeper into your high school experience. How was your experience within those 4 years?
High school was crazy. My freshman year was kind of obviously just fun. Like we had a lot of fun. We had a really good team, but we just was like really young. Um, I ended up going into my sophomore year, my freshman summer going to my sophomore year, I started getting like offers for college. Uh, I was getting better, getting stronger year by year. My high school coach was a college coach. So he kind of implemented the college system on us like early, as far as like lifting, work ethic, and just individually just trying to get better year by year. So it was great. High school, I had individually, I had like some great years. A lot of accomplishments, and as a team, we won a lot too. Like we broke a lot of records as a team, like made a lot of history, and yeah, it was super exciting. A lot of memories, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today without those high school, the high school growth for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And did you play any AAU?
Yeah, I played AU. I played for a couple circuit teams. Going into my senior, like junior to senior, I didn't. I already had committed to college, so I kind of just played with like a local team, just to kind of stay in shape. That sort of thing. And then I was also we had a good team still, so we were like playing as quality tournaments. But I was already going to commit in like August, so I wasn't really looking for any other like opportunities.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Now tell me a little bit about your transition from high school to college. How was the difference, I guess, in like playing style and stuff? And then how was those next 4 years for you?
So I originally committed to Oakland University, it's a Division I school in Michigan.
Mm.
Um, that for me was a turning point in my career because it didn't go well. Like it wasn't going well, and I had to make adjustments. I had to get stronger. I had to just all around. I had to get better, and I had to get better mentally because I went from 4 years of playing like nonstop, like not really getting taken out the game to going into a year where I'm barely playing, and I had to like work on myself, and really was just like, do you really love the game? Like, and if you do, then you got to put the necessary time in. So for my freshman year to my last year of college was constant. Just I was pushing myself. I rarely took days off. And I really, really wanted to make it. And then, at that time, the next step was professional. So um, that's what I was looking forward to. It was just like trying to train like a pro, treat myself like a professional. Um, my college coach was an NBA player.
Mm.
He's like still Ohio State's all-time leading scorer. Dennis Hobson is his name. He was great. He pushed me every day, to get better. On and off the court, he preached, being a good person as well. That was huge with him. But he always just challenged me every day, in practice, in film. Just he always challenged me. And that's why, I had to turn what I did in college as well. So, big shout out to him.
Hmm. That's good. Yeah, I think it's good to be surrounded by those kind of mentors and people who kind of gone through the places that you want to go through. I feel like
Yeah, for
it
sure.
kind of develops you as a player.
100%.
For sure, for sure. So I know it's your first year playing pro now, but walk me through the process of you being able to sign your first pro contract, what it took and how you really got to where you are right now.
Uh, Man, it was rough. I wouldn't say rough. It was a long journey. A lot of uncertainty. I would say. A lot of days are up and down. Where you just don't really know. And you have your days where you thinking about it or you question things. But I never stopped working. Like I never stopped training. I never let that like leave my mind of it's not gonna happen or like I always kept training, I always kept working on, my game and just trying to be patient as much as I could. But it definitely was hard. Because you get a lot of, you get calls and they like your game and it's a process, but it ends up the same result. And I dealt with that, for some months. But I never lost my cool about it. I just kind of, kept my head down, stayed focused, and just believed that I was going to get opportunity. And when it came about for the Jaguars, I was super excited, but I was also cautious too because I've already been through it, and I'm like, I don't know if it's actually going to happen. So I didn't really get too up about it. I just kind of, stayed steady and kept working, and being able to get the first opportunity and come here, and it's been great. Obviously, everything's a process, and you want to win and you want to continue to get better, but you gotta stay focused. Everything has its highs and lows, uh but you gotta stay focused and just continue to try to grow as much as you can. Obviously being in a country, there's a language barrier. It's a lot differently being from the US. So for me it's just constantly, you know just keep working, and staying focused, and just take what's coming. Obviously it's going to be good and bad, you know what I mean, but you got to embrace both. So it's been good so far, I mean, I have no complaints, but I just want to continue to get better. Like it's only a couple more months, so I'm just trying to soak it all in and continue to grow as much as I can.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good mindset to have. I hear it a lot from pro hoopers and even just people who are playing at a high level. Like, obviously, yeah, there's highs and lows in sports, but even in life in general.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of like a long period where you're working. It's not necessarily, you don't have like what you're working for, but you're working for that opportunity that
Mhm.
could potentially come. So it comes with a lot of like faith in your mindset and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
For
And
sure.
I can definitely see that even for me, like coming from Costa Rica, like ain't no colleges going out to Costa Rica to go see
Mhm.
nobody. So it's like I'm like dropping 30 pieces, but it's like I'm still training just for an opportunity to hopefully come. And luckily, I ended up here, so I
Mhm.
can see that in myself a lot. For sure, for sure. So walk me through the training aspect of things. I know you said you trained a lot in college, but did you train a lot growing up, and how did that change as you got to college and then to the pros?
To be honest, I didn't really have the work ethic that I had now coming up. I can honestly say like I was lazy. I just kind of, we have practice and go to practice. We have our games, I go to my games. It was in high school I started to see like, the growth of certain people like players. And it's just like, man, like they put in that extra time, and it was just like, like constantly get better? You never want to stay the same. How can I grow? And it just started, year by year. I just started adding little things to like my regiment, my routine. Just the little things like whether it's conditioning or you know skill development with basketball or physical things like lifting weights, stuff like that. I developed that in high school, and when I got in college, college you're more so on your own, so you're definitely gonna see in college if you're working because the summer you have to yourself. You don't have the AAU or nothing like that in college. So you really have to put the time in. So, it transitioned from college and then, well, from high school to college. And then when I got to college, I kind of just took it up another level. I took my summer serious. I trained every day. I lifted every day. If I didn't lift, I was running. So, yeah, it really wanting to be better. You know what I mean? Really wanting to grow and really wanting to be at your best. So I still don't feel like I'm where I want to be yet, so I'm still working. Obviously, being a professional, being overseas, you have a lot of downtime. So I try to use my downtime as much as possible to get in the gym, get shots up. Like I just left there like an hour ago working out, but and then I'll go run at the little park. Just try to keep myself together because you don't want to be off your game. You know what I mean? Because these teams are good and they're gonna come after you. So. I just try to, make sure I'm the best prepared as I can be, because that's who's gonna win. The most prepared person is gonna win. So I just try to be as prepared as I can be. And take it a day at a time. You can't, predict the future. So I take it day by day. Um, Rather it's good or bad, I take it day by day. Keep my faith strong, and I just apply the work that I work on outside of my games and practice into the games.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's good to hear. So with that being said, like I know everybody's different when it comes to like their schedule with training and stuff like that. So from what I'm hearing, is it like you just have like the constant want to get better? So is it just like anytime you have, you just gonna get some work in, really?
So Um, we typically play 2 games out the week. We practice twice. So those days where we're not doing anything, or even like if we do practice, like we got practice tonight, I'll go to the gym or I'll go run. Uh, and you have to give your body a rest. That was a big thing for me. Like I never really ever gave my body a rest, and I paid for it. Uh, some years in college I paid for it, but now being a professional is actually taking those days seriously and just staying off my feet. Just relaxing, looking at the old film of the games, and trying to find ways to get better and grow. You know what I mean? So yeah, the days that I do I try to get in the gym and get shots up, or I'll go run. Like I'll do something to just keep myself sharp.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to hear, especially for me because I feel like not only me, but just other people that I've talked to, even like younger kids, high school, it's like you're trying to find a balance between overworking and underworking. And you kind of, you got to keep your body healthy. So it's like, it's important. Do you think recovery is like an important thing for you, just being that you train so much?
Uh, Definitely, recovery definitely is important. Because I mean, well, it depends on like it depends on your body. Like everyone's body's different, but for me, just because I don't really know all the resources that we have around here, so I just try to I just try to stay off my feet. I went to actually one recovery session last weekend. Got to use the Normatec and just little stuff like that. So when I do get my opportunities to use those type of recovery things, I do it. But for the most part, I just stay off my feet. Just try to keep my legs fresh as much as possible.
Okay, that's good, good. So another thing, what I kind of see, like watching you play, seeing your games with the Jaguars and everything, two like prominent like components that I see in your game are like your mid-range and then like your conditioning. I feel like as the game progresses, like you're able to kind of perform at the same level all four quarters. So with both mid-range and your conditioning, how are you able to develop that and how are you able to maintain that?
Well, the conditioning is, I mean, obviously the lifting and running, but it's all in your mind, man. Like I feel like if you're mentally strong when it comes to stuff like that, you'll be fine. And then uh, I added a mid range to my game because I felt like it was like kind of a lost arc in the game. Obviously, everyone wants to shoot threes, which I can do that too, and drive. But I was just like, man, I wanted to just be three levels, being able to shoot the three and shoot the mid range and drive. So I added that, and it opens up a lot. Being able to shoot the mid range, it opens up a lot. In my game. So yeah, it ties into each other, being in shape and being able to do that. Because to do it for four quarters and play quality minutes, you got to be well conditioned. So that just comes. Like I said, it's just a will when you're out there. And then it's all in the mind. If you're strong mentally, you're not really even gonna think about being tired. Honestly, like I eat Skittles before I play. You know what I mean? Like before I play my games, it's kind of like a routine to do. But yeah, it's all in your mind, man. That's where it starts. So.
Okay, okay. That's good. And another question that I'm just thinking, like, when you're talking about your running and your training, do you go for distance or do you go for like speed
So
or something?
I just try to run miles. I try to run
Okay.
miles. It's a park down there. It's like not the biggest park, but I just try to get a mile in or 2 miles, just to keep, what I mean, keep that up, keep the, heart rate up, all that stuff. And really just to, keep my legs strong, what I mean? Because that's what it comes down to when it comes to, being able to have those legs in the fourth quarter, being able to be strong and sharp in the fourth quarter. So that the little stuff like that, it builds up. But that came from college. We used to run a mile before practice, no matter the weather. We used to run miles. So that's where that came from.
Okay, that's good to know. That's some good conditioning before practice.
Yeah, we did it. I did that for 3 years.
Wow.
Before every practice we ran. So I'm kind of used to it when it comes to running.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So now talk to me. Throughout your career so far, what kind of adversity have you been faced with and how have you been able to overcome it?
Being a professional or just in general?
Just in general, like from when you started to now.
So the adversity for me was having to, add things. Well, I wouldn't even necessarily say add things to my game, but just deal with like certain things. You know, I- it's as an athlete, you deal with a lot of stuff. It's you have personal things, just the pressure, and you deal with that, and it could make or break you. You know what I mean? Coming out here was one because you come out here, you by yourself. Obviously there's not necessarily family out here with you. That's adversity in itself, but you got to find ways to adapt and find your groove. And it kind of been like that my whole life. Going to college, it's always been little things that I had to deal with, little challenges. But for me, it was using what I've already been through. You know what I mean? Because I've been through a lot. In my life, just using that as motivation to just continue to go. You know what I mean? No matter what comes about in life, because it's life. You're gonna have hurdles, you're gonna have obstacles, you're gonna have to overcome. It's just how life is. But you just gotta find what makes you happy, and what you love to do, and do it to the best you can, because you only get one life. You get 24 hours in a day, so you got to maximize it. And that's what I'm learning now, is just really embracing the good and bad in my life, because I'm not perfect. I'm still growing, and it's just really about, just like I said, just embracing what comes at you, rather it's good things or bad things. Just keeping steady, staying focused, and just keeping your mind in in a positive manner.
Hmm. That's a good outlook. Yeah. Even talking to all these athletes, I feel like a common phrase that comes up between all of them is that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah,
Do you
everything
think you
happens
kind
for a
of see
reason.
that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. That's good to know. So, we're gonna end the interview off with five quick questions. So, the first one, what is your go-to pregame song?
Go to pregame song. Dang, that's a good one. Cause I switch it up. I don't really listen to the same music. I'll just, I'll give you a genre. I'll say like R&B.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, a lot of people, I hear like everybody's different. Some people like to listen to hype music, some people like to listen to chill, but I'm starting to hear a lot of people listening to chill like R&B. You kind of got to be calm before
Yeah,
these big games.
yeah, for sure. Gotta
For sure.
slow yourself down.
Yeah, for sure. That's good. That's good. So the next question is, what's your favorite shoes to play in?
Right now is the Anti-Kyries. It's probably like one of my favorites right now.
Yeah, yeah, those are good. Yeah, I had a pair myself, but I think they're kind of go coming up for Nike. Like I think.
Oh yeah, they're right there, neck and neck with Nike right now.
Yeah, for sure. So that's good. That's good. All right. So far throughout your whole career, I know you played, high school, AAU, college, and now pro. What has been your favorite environment to play in?
I'll give you a couple
Hmm.
because I got a few actually. I'll say, um, in high school, I'll go from each year. I'll say in high school it'll be the Final Four, tournament in high school. College would be the national tournament game in Georgetown. And my professional career would be for the Pelicans, where it's like super hot in there, crazy environment. So that probably was the best environments, and I enjoy it. I enjoy stuff like that. I have fun.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, are you the type of person that feeds off the crowd when you're playing?
I necessarily don't really listen if they're like talking, but I definitely love when it's like hostile and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like I embrace stuff like that. I don't back down from it.
Hmm. That's good. That's good to know. So with I know again it's your first year, but so far being overseas, what's one lesson that you've learned?
Really just hmm. I don't know. I would say there's patience. Uh, Obviously, it's different. Going to any other country is different for you. So just learn the patience and knowing that it'll come. Just continue to be yourself and focus on what you can control.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's a good mindset to have. Being in a different environment, even again, like me, I been able to talk to a lot of overseas players, and it's kind of the same concept, me moving here without family and playing and stuff like that. So that's a good outlook to have
Mhm.
for sure. All right, so the final question, what is some advice you would give someone who aspires to be in your position today?
I would say stay true to yourself. Have faith. Never get down on yourself because in life, like I said earlier, it's gonna be good and bad in your life. Never get down on yourself. Keep your mind in the right place and always be willing to work. Put the work in, and just always be willing to learn. Like that's a big thing is learning. Be willing to work and be willing to learn, and just be patient with everything. Because it's different. What I mean, being a professional overseas is different. So you gotta take what comes with it, but don't run away from yourself. Always be yourself, but always be willing to learn and be ready to work. Because it's different. It's not gonna be what you're accustomed to, and just be ready for change.
Okay, for sure. That's some good advice. Well, I appreciate you being able to join the podcast today. We'll
Yeah,
keep in touch.
for sure, for sure. Best of luck to you too.
All right, appreciate it. See you later.
See ya.